I feel like people have regressed with this measure that Nick was just measuring. Nick was just mentioning. I mean, let's do a weight loss. Let's do a weight loss. But has anyone reached out to anyone expert out there? Uh, what is the correct way of losing weight? You can actually consume 3,000 calories a day and still lose weight if you have enough to burn. That's my question. But obviously, 3,000 calories are too. It's a little far fetched and it's a little satellitic calorie. But I'm talking about let's say 1,500 calories a day. That's fairly consumable. You eat you go to the Macca's and you get a double quarter pounder and that's it. Da da dang, that's one meal, 1,500 kilocalories worth of stuff. But are you doing enough to burn it? That's the question. Now people think that, oh, I'm just doing 10,000 steps a day and that should burn it. No, it doesn't. That's totally absolute BS. It doesn't, because I tried it on myself, and you guys know I like to experiment stuff on myself. Uh, shh. So this is with the food experimentation that I'm talking about. So what I did was I based myself that 4 days a week I'll eat outside. By that I mean I was switching between Mexican food, that includes tacos and stuff. I was switching between a local pizzeria. I was switching between Burger King, which is Hungry Jack's at your place. I don't know why the name changed, but and obviously our famous McDonald's or Macca's in the land down under. So I was trying all these sort of stuff, and I was monitoring my weight. I was sitting at 160 pounds, and the noticeable factor that I saw is with the 5 pounds I gained after that, so 165, it was just belly fat. Like my belly, I was bloated, and my belly was out. And
are you trying to say that the food content matters, or are you talking about,
the quality
like,
of
are you
food,
saying,
because people missed eating outside. So that's what I'm saying. Like when everything was open, you went to a cafe, you got a nice poached egg,
yeah,
avocado on toast, stuff like that. And when you're in quarantine and when you're sitting at home all day, you're sleeping and everything is messed up. You know how things are. And then you go out, you don't see your favorite restaurant open. And what you get, you rage and you get a Macca's. You grab fries, you grab 10-piece nuggets, you grab a Fanta effing orange. And then we have tons of flavor here. So
at the end of the day, like, just as Connor was mentioning, it's calories in, calories out. So if you're cycling through those four fast food chains and you're simply not like doing any kind of activity at all, and thinking you can, let's just say calories are equated, and regardless of where the food comes from,
Mhm.
calories are the exact same as before ISO and after, during ISO. But during ISO now we're entering those four different restaurants of food. If your activity levels have gone down, of course you're going to put on weight.
Mhm. And
If daily expenditure has gone down,
it's not a healthy
it's not
weight.
a matter of, yeah, it's not a healthy weight, of course not. But regardless of quality of food, I will say, in a sense, just literally food intake versus how much you're expending. That's the major difference there.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, like, I don't know, that you can. I'm not advocating it, but you can get away with it if that's all you're eating.
Mhm.
I'm just saying. I'm
I
not
mean,
advocating it, but you can
if
get
you're
away with it.
working out, that's what you're putting in perspective as well. You can get away with it, but you don't want to end up stuck. You don't want to end up regressed. Like suppose you started a movement in January, and then by July, when gyms open and you're back there, and you see all yourself in the mirror as this fat bellied person, so you've actually regressed. Even though you're like, oh, I'm safe. I'm not eating 5 meals a day. I just ate 3 meals a day, and out of that, one was the full Macca's Happy Meal. What the hell, man? You're making a mistake. You're not
Mm.
actually, you're not actually compromising those 5 meals that you eat, which is just bland chicken. Obviously, not all people eat that, but whatever you're eating, uh, that has the fat content and everything is counted out for those who are really counting their calories and knows what they eat. And I feel like the physique programmer would like to weigh in on this as well. He's giving us a lot of smirks and smiles. So, food, Connor, food. how important is it? And I mean, like, obviously, going back to what Nick questioned as well. What have you been eating?
Okay, full transparency. I was smiling because I'm looking at your glasses, right? And in the reflection of the glasses, I'm trying to figure out your room. I'm slowly figuring out like everything about you now.
Mhm.
No, yeah, like as
Spy.
Nick was mentioning, like caloric, I'm not sure if you guys were arguing different points at the same points, to be honest. Because I think, yeah, if you're expending less, there's gonna be a lot, more issues with what you can get away with just via sheer calorie balance, as well as the more you move around, the better your nutrient partitioning is. So even with calories equated, you would get more uptake in the areas you want it versus the areas you don't.
Hmm.
I think with your belly fat thing, there's probably maybe some body fat just via excess calories and a few other things, but there's probably a lot of like inflammation and stuff like that. Like a lot of the ingredients, like towards like the Macca's, the Burger King, the Taco Bell. What was the other one? You had
um,
four.
yeah, the Burger King, the Macca's, Taco Bell, and I don't know about Taco Bell, but yeah, definitely Taco Bell, and obviously the local pizzeria.
Okay, yeah, it's a lot of issues. I mean, people vary with how much they have like sensitivities to full-on intolerances of those different things, but a lot of the trans fats no one really does well with, and you see a lot of issues there. Then you get more of a stress response because you don't feel good eating it, and the more stressed you are, the more water retention you have in your midsection. Like things are all interchanged in weird and funny ways. Yeah, so I think that's my thoughts on that main one there. So I feel like especially if we've got so many variables in our life that are changing with our steps are going down, we're training differently. I think when you're trying to figure out what do we do next and what is causing things, the more things you can keep controlled, the better. So rather than changing nutrition straight away, it's almost like unless you're quite on it, you can just okay, training's going to change, steps going to change. Okay, what happened to the physique this week? And if it's not how you like it, you change nutrition and go from there. Hopefully that kind
Mhm.
of answers the question, T.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that there's definitely a hierarchy in terms of how to where to start from. What's the baseline? What's the most important thing to look at? Before we go to the rest of things, especially with nutrition as well. I was actually gonna I guess before you were talking about, I think the main argument was food quality versus food quantity. I was actually listening to a podcast recently, and
No
the
promotion.
bodybuilder, no, the bodybuilder Jordan Peters. He was actually talking about um, because Lane Norton's very much if it fits your macros kind of thing. And he's got an app out at the moment. It's actually quite smart, but like I think Jordan Peters' argument was he said, look, yes, from a calorie standpoint, like it it doesn't matter, if whether it's coming from a burger or whether it's coming from beef and rice and kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what Jordan Peters argued, the benefits of obviously food quality is just if you're so on point with training, you're so on point with recovery and things like that, food quality comes in at that point. And that was his argument. If you got okay, you got potatoes or rice that you have as an option, or you got these gummy bears that might be equated for the same calories, what's going to give you the better recovery capabilities, and
Mm-hmm.
obviously he said I would rather opt for the rice and the potatoes at that point. Just that was just one example. But purely just on everything that we just talked about, I think how Conor summarize that, and just at the end of the day, like calories in, calories out. If you're just a gem pot person, like that's calories will probably be the baseline. If you can just take care of that, that's the first step before I'll probably look towards anything else. I think people look at the wrong things first, like for example, what supplements do I take, when should I eat and things like that. I think the most important thing, especially during an ISO period, is finding out what you can stick to,
Mm-hmm.
and look, ticking off the calorie box. And if you can tick off that box and you can kind of psychologically just get that down pack, right, before you move on to anything else, that's the most important thing. If you have a coach, right, they're probably going to highlight the importance of calories, but probably sneakily like put the other, micro things that do the micro things, right? That he'll probably start putting those things in at that point in time. So, yeah, like I think just get the base right first before you kind of play around with too much other things.
True.
If you're a person that loves to have a freaking taco on Tuesday, right? And then you just cannot live life without it, right? Because you aspire to be in LeBron James and Taco Tuesday is your thing, right? Like, look, you can find a way to fit it in. Like it's not the end of the world. If that's going to help you stick to your calories for the rest of the week, it's a good thing. All right. So that's basically my take on it. But if you're like, hardcore level bodybuilding, you just care about fucking making sure that you'll be able to lift the next session like Jordan Peters, like, man, like, okay, food choices at that point, there's an argument for that.
I hope you enjoyed that small clip from the Forge Intelligence podcast. If you want to check out the full episode along with a lot more content, go to our channel. If you like the video, like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for listening.